Today is June 20th, 2025. My name is Charles Switter. Today I'm presenting part 4 of my five-part series titled Conflict Resolution. My main message through all these 5 presentations is that it's best to talk out differences without fighting it out. Resolving a conflict is a process. A proven process is more likely to succeed than responding in the heat of the moment according to your inflamed emotions. Now, the 12 to 15 principles of conflict resolution presented in this series is a rough outline of a process for resolving both differences of opinion, conflicts, and even normal negotiating of any transaction. A generalized process for resolving a conflict starts with exploration. What is the problem? What are the issues? What are the grievances? By listening and asking directed questions, you get the basic information you need to understand, which is the second phase after exploration. Understand the situation and then proceed to the third stage, which is resolution. With the right understanding and a motive to resolve the conflict, both you and the other parties will be ready to jointly develop a win-win resolution that all sides can live with. So let's go to conflict resolution number 10. Avoid blame. Focus on resolving the issues rather than assigning fault. It's easy to blame others for your frustration when you don't get what you want. But blame doesn't help resolve conflicts and makes the resolution more difficult to reach. So take responsibility for any acts of commission or omission that's your part of the conflict and try to make amends. Blaming the other party involved in a dispute is not a good way to start the process of reconciliation. The other parties might have their own grievances and are likely to return the blame, and more wrangling will ensue. Blaming will not resolve a disagreement. Only listening, communicating clearly, and assuming responsibility will move the parties towards a resolution. Now, having attended these presentations on conflict resolution, there's nothing preventing you from becoming a peacemaker and leading the discussions towards a resolution wherein all parties get their needs satisfied. Once you begin to show an interest in resolving the conflict peacefully and respectfully, taking responsibility for any part in the conflict that you might have contributed to, others are more likely to become less emotional and more cooperative. Conflict resolution number 11, principle number 11. Clarify misunderstandings. Ensure everyone understands each other. Most disputes are the result of misunderstanding, so spend time clarifying. Listen first and speak clearly your own intentions for resolving the problem. When you can summarize the other person's viewpoints, then you have good understanding of the problem. Some parts of a conflict might be due to misunderstanding as to the intentions of the other parties. Most people have honorable intentions, but they may not be evident to others. So clarify any misunderstandings by listening and giving information about your involvement. Even with honorable intentions, people will still make errors in judgment, behave according to personal biases, and sometimes misread the room. However, giving and receiving accurate information helps clear the air, wherein everybody gains a common basis for seeking potential resolutions. Conflict resolution principle number 12. Use neutral language. Avoid inflammatory or accusative words. Emphasize the use of the word I. I felt bad when I created a misdeed here. And forego the use of the word you. You did this, and I don't like what you did. Emphasize what you, and use these words. I am willing to do whatever it takes to resolve the conflict. And also invite the other person to suggest how the conflict to be resolved, whereby they feel that they got satisfaction out of the resolution. So in your anger or emotional distress, do not sin by making unfounded accusations against the other parties. Don't make the situation worse by alienating others with abusive language. Don't belittle others. Don't use character assassination language, such as disparaging the integrity and reputation of others. That will only escalate the dispute by adding new issues that will need to be resolved. Here's a key to remember. Be hard on the issues, but soft on the people. The best way forward is to keep the focus on the identified issues, such as who did what, caused what harm to others, and offers for settlement. And you can always put forth the following: I will do X if you will do Y. That's the simplest form of a resolution. So my main message, as for all of these presentations on conflict resolution, become a peacemaker and avoid and attempt to resolve social conflicts. So once the parties get to the point of making offers for settlement, the end of the conflict is near. Ideally, a resolution to the conflict gives everyone something of value so they're motivated to comply with the eventual agreement. A unified agreement to end conflict or negotiation tends to bring the feuding parties together so that a restoration or amending of relationships is possible. Of course, it's harder to be in a relationship when the issues are contentious, but with a resolution, all that goes away. With a resolution to a dispute, the parties have no issues blocking them from reconciliation if they choose to continue with their relationship. One of the advantages of having resolved a conflict is the goodwill generated by having worked together to resolve a tough problem that mutually involved all parties. The successful settlement of a contentious conflict will give rise to a euphoric sense of relief, a release of a burden, and a sense of accomplishment. When people are feeling good about the end of a conflict, is a good or perfect time to join with them in mutual harmony to celebrate the occasion. A good ending is a good time to start a new beginning, with possibilities of unlimited opportunities for all parties, both individually and collectively. Take time to savor the moment. Celebrate, express appreciation for the contribution of others, and see where the cooperative relationships might be expanded. Well, that's all for now. Remember to stay positive, you'll be happier and healthier, and live longer.